The Jordan 1 UNC Toe is one of the shoes that everyone's looking for this month. But there's actually one other shoe dropping in July that I think is even better. And there might be over 100 new shoes coming out this month, but I've narrowed down my list of the top 10 that I think you should be on the lookout for. It's filled with a few things you might expect, like the UNC Toe, but also some sleeper picks that I know people are overlooking. And I'll even throw in some shoes that restocked from last month that are readily available and in stock right now that I think are great options for this month too. So let's start off with number 10, a shoe that I know people are looking for. It's the Reverse Panda Dunk Low. Now these are set to release on Nike on the 12th for $110, and I know some people are tired of all the Panda colorways on dunks, but these are a new twist that I think are going to be more accessible than the original Panda dunks. I still see these selling out fairly quick, but they might sit on Nike for a few hours before actually selling out, where the original Pandas would sell out in seconds. These take the idea of the originals and give you a white upper that honestly feels pretty nice for the summer and is just a little bit of a different take. Now I have these linked in the description as well as links for every single shoe I'm going to talk about in this video. And speaking of the Panda dunks, I do want to throw in the Panda Dunk High as an honorable mention because the highs are finally readily available in stock on Nike right now, unlike the lows, and they just popped up again towards the end of last month, so I wanted to at least mention that here for anyone interested. But now we'll take a switch to Adidas for shoe number 9, which is a new brown colorway and the Adidas Bad Bunny Campus. Now these are one of the more popular shoes from Adidas these days, as it seems like easy releases are on a bit of a hold, but these are expected to release on July 29th for a retail price of $160 and are likely to sell out as well. Now I did want to throw in another honorable mention, this time from Adidas, for a shoe that has also finally stopped selling out, which is the Adidas Samba in a few different colorways. These also finally became readily available at the end of last month, so for anyone looking for a pair of Sambas, these are officially back. Now moving back to Nike for number 8, we have a new release from John Moran. This is being called the Ja 1 Fuel or Ember, and they're set to release on the 14th from Nike for $110. I'm actually a big fan of this shoe and was able to grab them from another retailer that dropped them earlier this month, but in terms of performance basketball shoes, you really can't get any cheaper than a signature model for around $100. Sticking with performance basketball, number 7 goes to the Charlotte Hornets Fade colorway of the Melo 2. These retail at $130 and dropped last week, but are another really solid shoe. I'm a big fan of Melo's whole line, and there's actually so many of his other colorways that are available for around $100 that are going to be linked on the screen, but I just don't think you can go wrong with a clean Charlotte Hornets colorway as something to wear on or off the court. Now going back to Nike for number 6, these are actually a restock on a women's dunk that popped up the other day, which is set to release on the 20th. This is the Rhodes Whisper colorway, which might be one of the most popular women's dunks to maybe ever release. I get asked about this colorway specifically a ton, so I was happy to include it here, and I think it's great Nike's restocking these to get more pairs out there. I do expect these to sell out pretty quickly, but be sure to check those out if you're still looking for a pair. Moving on to number 5, we have a personal favorite of mine, the Nike Calm Slide. These things are drawing so much attention from their simplistic look that feels very similar to other popular slides, but I actually like these a lot. I will say they run a little small and that they're definitely not as comfortable as the Easy Slide, but they're a really nice, solid option that's set to release at more retailers on the 14th. They come in at $50 a pop and honestly might keep selling out, but if you're quick on these, you should be able to grab a pair. And something else that will likely sell out very fast is another dunk dropping on Nike on the 20th. This is the clear Jade colorway that I think from the pictures looks pretty sick. They definitely remind me of an older colorway that came out before, but that Jade color just really pops, and I'm sure these are going to sell out quick at the number 4 spot. But one interesting thing about this pair is that they have the exact same color blocking as another dunk that released a couple weeks back and is still in stock on Nike. It's pretty rare for a dunk to sit in stock for too long, but almost every size is still up in this Team Gold dunk that I wanted to include as another honorable mention. That's just another solid colorway. And on to number 3, and back to a dunk that should sell out immediately, is the Chicago Split Dunk. These are actually a pretty trippy looking dunk that takes the Chicago colorway and chops it up. I think they look pretty cool in the pictures and are expected to release on the 14th for $120 at a bunch of the big retailers. Now the number 2 shoe of the month is back to the UNC Toe Jordan 1 that I mentioned earlier. They're such a good looking shoe that has a giant appeal that I'm sure everyone's going to be going for. They're dropping on the 22nd for $180 and are releasing in full family sizing. Now this is a shoe that Jordan has made a lot of, but also just has very high demand. Basically any store that gets other Jordan retros should get these, so I definitely recommend entering as many raffles for these that you can, and if you do some research into how stores are releasing them near you, you should have a good shot to grab a pair. But if you do happen to miss out, I really don't think the resale prices are going to be as high as some people think. Right now they're right around $250 and I could see them getting even lower than that. But speaking of shoes in that price range, I expect the number 1 shoe to release, sell out, and go for right around $200 to $250 bucks on the resale market. That shoe is the Social Status Mac Attack. I think these just look so good with a bit of an aged look and an all-white silhouette with that upper that wears away over time. I think these are a really solid shoe that people are definitely going to be looking for this month, and Social Status is dropping them via a raffle that's live for a couple more days, so be sure to enter that at the link in the description. So let me know what shoes you guys are looking forward to this month, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.